Hello and welcome to Get Started with Silver Clay. With me, Vicky, and of course our inspirational expert, the lovely Natalia, is joining us. We have got an amazing show lined up for you, really introducing you to what many of us call as not just a fantastic technique for you jewellery makers, but actually a discipline, something that almost takes you to another level of jewellery making potential. This is a show where we really are going to take you through how to get started, how to explore different parts of silver clay, how to achieve different looks, and of course to give you different ways of creating different styles by all of the different tools and other such must-haves, and not so essential but rather nice to have as well. So we're going to take you through that, and we're going to start, well, as only we know how. We have made up a kit. Now, quite simply, this is a kit that has everything in it to get started. I think I can quote Natalia to say this quite simply is everything you use to make your jewellery.
Yes, it is. You've got all of the tools. You can make every piece of jewellery that's sitting at the side of you using the tools that are in that kit.
Shall we have a look at some of the pieces that you've got the chance to be able to make? Because if you've not seen silver clay, let's just show you just how magnificent they are. Now, whether you want to create smaller detail pieces or whether you want to go out and out dramatic, that's amazing. Oh my goodness me, Natalia, that is beautiful. Oh wow. Or alternatively, you can make your own clasps. Of course, we're talking about with silver clay 99.9% pure silver. I mean, quite simply, by adding just the smallest of accent of silver clay, you're adding true luxury to your jewelry. As I say, 99.9% pure silver. I mean, sterling silver is 92.5%. This is taking you to the finest silver we have. And on top of that, take a look at some of the amazing, I mean, this is one of the big fashion trends of spring and summer, and I know for autumn and winter as well. You have this gorgeous bangle, and as you can see there, you've got that real strength of design, but the luxury in those finishing details is just magnificent. So all of these are just part of the inspiration to get you started with your silver clay. So what do you need? This is it. This is quite simply, as Natalia said, everything you need. And when Natalia first joined us here at Jewellery Maker, we sat together, and Paula, our boss, and yourself, literally based on this starter kit, we wanted to accomplish everything. We wanted to make sure that there was not one thing additional that you needed to really just explore this avenue of incredible discipline, and that's what it is. Now, what you have here, a combination of all of the tools and also the ingredient itself. You will get the silver clay with this starter kit, so you are going to get your 7-gram pack of art clay silver. I repeat again, that is coming with the resulting 99.9% pure silver from this package. Now, you also get a combination of your wire brush. You'll also get your mini roller. I mean, these are all part of the essentials. All of these, as you can see, coming with quality. Of course, we always have to remember we want quality from our tools, so they have longevity and usability. You've got the shake roller. You're also going to get the burnisher. You're going to get a pack of playing cards, and for a lot of people, that's always something that makes you go, what? A pack of playing cards? All will be revealed. Keep watching and you'll find out why you need those playing cards. Plus, on top of that, you've got your wire mesh, you will get your tweezers, you're going to get sandpaper, you're going to get nail files, you're going to get water brush pen, you're also going to get clay cutter, which is great if you just want to add that final flourish of cutting into detail. And finally, also, you're going to get your clay balm. All will be revealed as to how you will use these within this show. The show is going to show you the simplicity of how you can get into this amazing discipline and the resulting jewelry that you can create. So what can we do on this amazing starter kit? Well, we can do something that perhaps you would expect from probably half of the tools, and not even the clay. The price we're about to give you is essentially what I would suggest would be great for the box and just a handful of tools, not even to give you the silver itself. So you're going to get it all for one price tag. That is one price tag only. Your silver art clay starter kit. All you need for this amazing discipline, $34.95. I mean, I know this price has been higher, and I've no doubt about it. It should be higher than that right now. $34.95, as I say, with all of the tools and the ingredients. And we're about to give you the instructions, literally live right now. We're going to have the step-by-step how you can make this incredible skill your own, and to optimize and maximize on this fantastic discipline. I'm going to call it a discipline for the, I don't think it's just a technique. I think it's much more advanced than this. This is another level, almost like silversmith type of qualities of attributes you will be creating with your jewelry making. You can join us, of course, let's not forget, you can join us on our phone lines. 0800 644 655 is where you can join us. And I do believe you can access us on the web as well, www.jewellerymaker.com. So £34.95. And I think, shall I just grab it all and bring it over, Natalia? Would it be worth me doing that?
Yes.
And what I like is that you do get the presentation box as well. And just to highlight, you get this clear plastic presentation box. So once you've made your jewelry, you might want to display it. If you do so with the box, it's rather good as a carrier as well. £34.95, as I say, and really in principle, the qualities of silversmith work and silver art clay are very similar, aren't they? You know, the finishing results are very similar.
Yes, it's very similar, the end product. So sterling silver is 92.5% silver, so it has other alloys like copper added to it. And this is fine silver. So fine silver is the purest form of silver there is, which is 99.9%, as you said. And if you had it hallmarked by the assay office, they would hallmark it 999.
Wow.
Now, the reason why it's so pure is because this little packet of silver clay,
yes,
it may look like ceramic clay, but actually it's very cunning because the clay itself contains tiny particles of silver that have been ground down.
Right.
And they're suspended in a special binding agent with some water to make it clay-like, so that you can mould it and roll it and shape it. Then eventually the clay will dry out and you end up, I have a piece here, you end up with a piece of what looks like pottery.
Oh, how interesting. It just almost like a tile.
Yeah, so that's actually silver, but it's still got the binding agent in it. The water's evaporated now at this point because it's been air dried.
And it's hardened.
It's hardened, but we could still break it, so it's vulnerable at this stage until we fire it. And firing it is a really fun part, because that's when we become alchemists. We turn this innocent clay-like thing into a piece of solid metal. Oh, and the firing, I'm going to demonstrate, because it's a lot simpler than you may think. And this is the thing that people worry about most, but it's very straightforward.
I'm rather excited, are you? I know. Let's go for it then. Let's take us through and lead us through where we begin, because as I say, there are a lot of tools there that I've read out, and I go, okay, well, what would I do with that? Where do we go from this? You know, playing cards, question mark, you know, the clay balm, question mark, you know, all of those things that I'm hoping you might be able to answer for us.
Okay, well, I'm going to use all the tools in the kit just to show you that these are the very things that I use to create all of my designs.
Okay.
And we've got the JewelleryMaker playing cards, and the playing cards are used as a leveler, so it's
they are actually cards as well.
Yes, they have a double function, so you can play poker with them while you're waiting for your clay to dry. And they're basically used to create a certain height of the clay, to create a certain thickness. Excuse me. So if I take that piece that I just showed you earlier there, Vicky, that is actually 5 playing cards thick. Which
is it?
We talk in silver clay, we always talk in terms of card thicknesses.
And is that's across the board in silver clay? That's just one of those. So instead of going to a metric or anything like that, it literally is playing
millimeters,
cards.
we talk playing cards because they're universally the same size.
That's genius, isn't it?
Even though, you know, a lot of people use plastic slats now as levelers, but I use playing cards because I love them.
Fantastic.
So what we're going to do is count out 2 piles of 5 playing cards.
Okay.
It does help to take them together as well so that they don't move around. So you can roll them out thinner. You can roll the clay out to 4 or 3 playing cards thick if you wanted to. But my advice is always this: you end up with a really strong piece of jewellery if you go 5 playing cards or higher. So obviously, the thicker the playing cards, obviously the more clay.
Higher than a 5?
Yes, exactly. So you get to do all your game shows.
I'm just going to say, nice to see you.
So we could roll out onto this surface, or we could use another playing card to roll out onto. The choice is yours, or, you know, a a work mat or whatever you want to use. So I'm gonna, for the purposes of this, I'm going to roll it on the playing card because it's nice and bright and we'll be able to see the clay really well.
Okay.
Now, if I put the playing card in the middle here, if I leave those cards on either side, I'm actually raising the height of the clay, so I'm making it 4 cards thick now. So that's no good. So we want to prop up.
Sorry, with you, got it now.
Or you could put 6 playing cards and leave it.
Yes,
but I always prop because sometimes I roll things out onto, say, a piece of leather, so I've got texture on the back, and I don't know how many cards thick the leather is, so I just prop.
Makes sense.
So this is the clay balm that comes in the kit.
I'm intrigued by this because every time I look at it, I go, oh, it smells nice.
Very lovely. It's lavender. It's
oh, that's lovely.
olive oil beeswax.
Oh, I feel like I'm walking
stuff.
through a country meadow with lavender just around me.
It's all natural product in here. And what we do with this is it goes a long, long way. You know, I've been using this for about a year, this pot, and I teach a lot.
My goodness me. And you get a full pot, obviously,
Yes.
with your purchase, with your starter kit, so you will get that full pot. As part of this kit, let's not forget $34.95, and all of the things that you're seeing Natalia use, the playing cards, the balm, this all comes part of the kit itself.
Can you see I'm just putting a thin layer of it onto the
So you've
place
literally just rubbed it on like you would lip balm on your lips.
Absolutely. And you know, you will gauge how much is too much because your clay will end up sliding all over the place, or it will stick to the card, and you know, you'll learn how to do it. And then I've just got a little bit of balm again. I'm going to put a little bit on my rolling pin. Not a huge amount, so I'm wiping the excess off, can you see?
In case it just
and this is the mini roller that comes in the kit, and it's
cool.
perfect size. So I'm going to take my silver clay, and there's a pack of 7-gram silver clay that comes in the starter kit.
Okay. And in terms of where 7 grams will take us, I guess one presumes that you're going to show us the resulting,
you're
what we
going
can
to see how far it goes.
Okay.
Now, you can condition the clay first before you roll it out, which is always a good idea. And I've just triple wrapped some cling film, so I've just taken a piece of cling film, folded it over 3 times, and then I'm just going to put it in the cling film and just give it a little massage.
And you called it conditioning. Do you mean like making more malleable?
Yes, because you know it's sitting in the packet for a few months. It's you know, the particles just need moving around a little bit just to get it to get almost warmed up. You would do the same with polymer clay.
Same principles as polymer clay.
This is a lot softer than polymer clay. It's a wonderful texture. It has a very silky, beautiful texture. So polymer clay can be quite tough.
Okay.
Which we don't have that problem with this.
Okay.
So then I'm going to put it into a nice little shape that I will be able to roll with. And place that down on my greased surface and then just start rolling. Just goes up at the edges, then just push it down. And then I'm going to flip the clay around because I don't want to roll along thin
like you would pastry.
Yeah. Can you see we're getting
that's instant,
a nice rounder shape. Okay, now you can leave the clay like that. You don't have to add any texture to it, but in this case I want to add some texture. So I have a rubber texture, or a couple of rubber texture mats here with different designs on them.
Are those part of the Lisa Pavelka range then, are
those
they?
are the by Natalia.
Oh, the
range,
Natalia one.
So designed by me. I have. These are
I'm so proud of you, I so didn't know.
Yeah.
By Natalia.
This is Walk on the Wild Side, zebra and leopard print. And then my favourite things, which is text and butterflies.
Oh, Natalia, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. By Natalia.
By Natalia, yeah.
Oh.
By Natalia for you. So, because it's rubber, it will stick to the silver clay, so you really need to make sure that you put a nice amount of the clay balm on there. You can also, on a cosmetic sponge, you could put a little bit of olive oil and rub it over if you prefer to do it that way. And then what I'm going to do is I won't roll this texture on, I'm just going to press. So I just push that down, and then I'm going to hold on before I lift the texture up because I may not have pressed hard enough.
Okay.
The clay's quite springy, so it will, you know, resist the texture. So I'm holding on to this edge and just lifting carefully and to see whether I've got a good impression, and I have. So that's the zebra print that we've got there. So
look at that. And so the actual shaping that you've just created there, the pattern or the print, that does come part, I presume, of this.
Yes.
And again, by Natalia.
Yeah, that's it.
So it is your design template, and also you're going to get... Oh, Natalia, I'm so proud. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Look at these. These fantastic stamps as well. So you can see there, Natalia's just used the print one there, the leopard print. And then you also get, I'll twist it around again so you can see there, two different feels to then creating your silver clay.
And they can be used with polymer clay. They can be used to stamp onto shrink plastic. So they have a variety, and also the enamel clays, jewel enamels, sorry.
Oh, how interesting. So you can use them in lots of different ways. Yeah. We'll come back to what else you get within this kit shortly, but we'll just continue with it because I don't want us to lose our thread of where we are on this.
So I'm going to show you how I created this little shape, and I literally took a little square cutter and cut through. So again, I'm always putting balm on, if you notice, because it will stick. The clay just loves to stick to everything. And then just decide where you want to cut your design out. And then just give the cutter a little wiggle from side to side, and then remove it, and then take your excess clay away. And this is where the cling film comes in really handy for stopping the excess clay from drying out.
So, and this is something that we need to remember is that the clay naturally will dry out within, it's not a short period of time, but you want to wrap it up straight away to keep it moist.
Yes, it will. If you left it within 5 minutes, that would start to feel hard. It would develop a little crust on it, so you really want to make sure that you do that.
Okay.
And there we go. And then if you want to have a pilot hole for your findings,
right, for like a bail, etc., that kind of thing.
So decide where you want it. I think I'm going to have it there. And we want to go about 5 millimetres in from the top, just to make sure that it doesn't open up the clay when it fires. So we need to make sure there's a good distance. So
you mean from the edge?
From the edge.
You want to go
clay.
about 5 mil. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you said I thought you meant 5 mil through, and I was thinking, well, surely I want a hole all the way down. You mean 5 away from the edge?
So there's my cocktail stick.
I'd like to lift that up a little bit, Natalia. Would that be all right, so that everybody can see?
And I can actually use a little drill bit to drill that out when it's dry, to create a really seamless hole.
It's so simple, this technique.
Yeah. And then this is what it looks like when it's dry. You have allowed that to dry out. What I did with this is I speed dried it, so you can leave it for 24 hours to dry in a warm environment. So the studio right now, perfect, room temperature, lovely. That will be dry within 24 hours. Otherwise, you can speed the process up, and this would take about half an hour to dry if you put it onto a hot plate, so like a hostess little
my goodness, yes, my mum's got one of them.
Or I have a cake tin that I just line with a piece of silicone, and I put it in my oven, and I put it on about 80 degrees C. And if you've got a gas oven, it's the lowest setting.
I've got like a slow oven. Would that work? Like the temperature of a slow oven, it's like almost a warmer of plates, that kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely,
like
would be
plate
brilliant. Yeah, on top of a radiator. What I did in the early days when I was first starting out with this is I used to take my plain cut, because it's like a tray now. I don't have to try and writhe it off there, and just place it on top of a warm radiator.
Well, that was the other question I was going to say. Could you put it on, or just to, as you say, to encourage it?
Yes. And it's stuck to the card, I can get it off there. But I would leave it on there, because as soon as the water evaporates, it'll release itself from the card.
Perfect, so we don't need to do anything. So we'd leave it like that.
Yeah.
24 hours if you were just in a warm room, but if you wanted to encourage it, then you could do so. And then where do we go?
Well, then what we do is, once it's dried, I'm going to put that back in there so we can use it for something else. We have some sponge pads in the kit. It's a little sponge sanding pad.
You mean like the sanding pad?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
literally, this starter kit has everything you need, isn't it? I mean, you're showing now that quite simply, there's nothing that you're making right now that we haven't already provided.
No,
so that's really good to know.
We can use all that.
Yeah, really good to know.
And can you see that edge is a bit wonky? Yeah. It's not completely square, because of the way that I cut it. And so what I'm going to use is this sponge pad. So you've got writing on the back, which is the sponge part, and then you have this gritty side, and just start to sand it.
And you're not wetting it.
No, we don't want it wet.
For some techniques you need to wet it, but this is a non-wet, this is dry sanding.
Dry sanding, and then what happens is, you know, when you run your finger over it, it's nice and smooth. And so basically you're doing all of the work that you want to do before you fire it. You need it to be in as good a shape as possible, looking as pretty as possible, because when this has been fired, there's no going back. It's a solid piece of metal. So can you imagine trying to straighten that out?
Yeah.
Once it's been
do it all now.
Fired, yeah. And again, I always do the back of the piece because I want the back to look as good as the front.
Yes, and I often think, like, you know, with pieces like that, I always like to know that the back does have that quality about it, because really, in principle, if it flips or if you're putting it on, you still see it. You just want that quality, isn't it?
And then if you want to pass me one of the emery boards.
Yes, miss.
Nice little berry-coloured emery board. And so we've got this abrasive and straight lines. So if you're doing something with straight lines like this, perfect. You know, you can use it to make sure you get your edges really straight.
Nice.
That is fantastic for curves. So I've got some little circles that I did earlier, and so I would never use that on the curve because I'm going to end up putting straight lines onto my curves, so you can just go around and do the edges of those.
It's all very freehand.
It's great, and you know what I really like about it is the designing bit is when you're rolling clay out or modelling the clay and then turning it into a design, but then you're continuing to keep adapting it, and that doesn't stop until, you know, you finish
Very
firing
end,
it.
the end result.
So it's really good. So there we have it. That's the way of preparing your pieces for firing.
So let's just go back to what you get in this fantastic design template kit, because we've touched on one part, but actually it comes with a lot more, which I'd like you to talk me through, really, because really for me this is obviously something that you've put together, and what's more, one presumes that you put it together with the essentials in mind, you know, getting those little extra bonuses. Now that feels like I need to be saying scalpel.
Yes, it is. It's like a surgical precision tool, and it's double-ended, which is always great because then you don't have to have two tools. Yeah. So we've got a knife, a kind of blade on that end, which isn't really sharp. You know, I'm rubbing my finger, but when it cuts through clay, it's really sharp. It's lovely.
Okay.
And so that's great for cutting shapes and designs out in the clay. I'll show you how to use that later. And then this end is good for creating textures. You can mix your own paste with this little footer end. You can attach one piece of clay to another using this.
Like you did with the owl leaves, you must have used that to like slowly
to attach
apply
those
them.
pieces.
Yes. Then you're also going to get this tool. No.
This is a clay pick.
Is it?
Yeah. So
It's
a flying clay pick.
I was just going to say, heads.
Yeah, heads will roll.
It does come in a little container to keep you safe.
Well, this is great because you saw me when I was rolling the clay out, and the excess clay, you can just use it to pick the excess clay up without you having to gouge it off the surface. You can use it to make a hole with instead of a cocktail stick. And you can also use this in jewel enamel and polymer clay. It's great. You can use it to draw through the clay.
I was just going to say, could you almost use it like as an engraver? You know, if you wanted to put your own pattern you printed to the clay. One presume like maybe an initial if you were going to do a little silver piece that had a pendant that had an initial on, or you know, like a charm.
And in my introduction to Silver Clay Workshop, we make a leaf pendant. So we roll a leaf shape, and then we put a skeleton leaf on top of it to create the texture, and then we use this just to cut around in a ragged kind of fashion to create this lovely leaf outline.
No, that's a great idea. We do have, as Natalia's just touched on, so we may as well talk about it now, a fantastic introduction to silver clay course that we have running here at JewelleryMaker. Do speak to our call centre about that, 0800 644 655. We also do a silver clay ring workshop. If you'd like to join Natalia and learn a little bit more, the same number applies, and we'll surely be able to help you on course availability and, as I say, pricing, etc. So those two workshops are running with Natalia, and as you can see already we're inspired to get started into this amazing discipline. But it's not where you stop with this combination, because you're doing shapes as well here. Now these are just like basically to create unique prints, unique formations.
Well, I'll show you what to do. There's actually a couple of different ways of working with them. So if I put my playing cards out again.
Are you going 5 again?
Yeah, 5 playing cards, 2, 3, 4, 5. and then a central one. Actually, I'll use that one because that's already got a bit messy. Straighten up and then get a bit more balm on there.
Yeah.
And then pop my clay down and roll it out again.
And this is the remainder of the clay that we've just been using, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
this is the clay packet that we
that's the
started
7 grams.
with. Yeah, and you can see it's maybe a little bit crumply, you know, because it's been in the cling film. So just fold it over and roll again, and then you'll get rid of those creases. I should have taped my cards up. It's a lot easier.
So you would suggest like just literally giving it a little bit of so that they're rigid.
Absolutely. And again, you know, you can add a texture. So we'll add my favourite things, texture. Before we cut any shapes, always add your texture first.
Okay.
Just putting that down. Just lifting. I've got a good impression there, so lift that off. And then if I take my template, what I've done is I've created a template that has lots of different sizes of an oval and the triangle. And the reason I've done that is because sometimes if you're using polymer clay, you want to do a bigger size piece. When you're using silver clay, you're using it sparingly, so you go for the smaller sizes. And so, you know, I could make an oval or I could make one of the triangles. And the way that I would use this is you can either press it down, just press it lightly on the edges just to kind of stick it in place. And then you can use the clay pick,
the pick or the cutter?
To cut it out.
Would you use the pick then, would you?
Yeah, you would. So you just run that around the inside of there, like this. I'll just show you quickly. Can you see?
Yeah.
And then that cuts it. Or we can just press it and then lift it off. And can you see?
Oh, yeah.
We've actually got the outline of that there. So then I can use a playing card to cut it out.
It's that soft you can cut it with a playing card.
Yeah, playing cards act like knives. That's why I love them.
That's clever,
not only
isn't
do you
it?
use them as trays and as work mats, but also, you know, as a way of. And then we can use our clay pick, obviously, to pick up. Let me just do that again, because I didn't do that final one with that. So pick that off, and then you've got a little beautiful little triangle of clay. And that would make, you know, if you did 2 of those, it would be lovely for a pair of earrings.
Earrings, of course.
Or a charm. See, there's a little bit of clay there. Don't waste any. Always make sure that
well, with it being so precious, with it being a fine metal, you want to make sure that you're utilising it, maximising it, don't you?
Yeah.
So within this combination, this design template kit, you're getting the cutouts, the template that has just been used by Natalia to create the diamonds, the triangles and the ovals. You also have the pick, which you've just seen in action. And also, what did you call that?
There's a cutting tool.
Cutting tool, a double-edged cutting tool. And then also you're getting the 2 Natalia print stamps as well. So you're getting all of this for £26.95. So that's your shape template kit and design is £26.95. I mean, a really nice way to just add to your kits, really, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice accompaniment to this, because, you know, it just broadens your ability to make other things.
I agree. Yeah, totally. It really extends that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that's the design part of it. Now, you did say you made a promise that you were going to show us how to finish it all off.
Yeah.
So one presumes that it takes another step into the unknown. When it gets set up, how about I take you over and just start talking about the DVDs? Yes. Would that be an idea?
Yes. Yeah.
That's probably a wise idea, isn't it? So come with me, and we'll let Natalia get set up for the firing and the finishing. And in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about a few ways of accessing the instructions and how to appreciate the simple way to do it. And actually, when you see it like that, I mean, it really is simple, and yet it's a discipline that needs to be, I think, when you're using with something so pure, like 99.9% pure, so you want to get it right, don't you? So with that in mind, we're going to we're going to give you the chance to get DVDs that take you. So I'll tell you what, let's start with this one because this is the beginning. And this is, I'm sure it's over 100 minutes of quite simple instructions of how to get started with silver clay. So perhaps you can't join us on one of our courses that we have running here at JewelleryMaker, and perhaps you just want to be in the luxury of your own home. Stopping and starting, it's Natalia leading you through the instruction here. It's £14.95 for that DVD, and as you can see here, the potential is to create some incredible looking jewellery. I mean, just glorious. If I just give it a quick flip, we can read that you do get a variety of chapters, up to 14 chapters on this, where you get the products and their uses, you get to know the tools, you get to show how the clay is starting to be manipulated, and then how to make a pendant, or how to make a leaf shape earring, how to dry your pieces. It tells you all about the prepping of firing and how to repair breaks. It gives you 3 different ways of firing your silver clay. It talks about finishing and polishing of your fine piece, and also creating an aged effect on that fired silver. So all of that is part of this DVD. I love those earrings. Those earrings are just gorgeous. Leaf design earrings, aren't they beautiful? Just gorgeous. And you could be creating those earrings for yourself, and look at that DVD, it's just £14.95. So if you want to get involved in this fantastic discipline, if you're looking to explore new avenues of jewellery making, well, you can do so, but do it in a really easy way. There's no point in climbing a mountain without having the right tools for the job. You need your pick, you need your right boots, you need your thermal hats, all of that. So you wouldn't go climbing a hill without the right tools, and there's no point. There is no point in creating jewellery without having the right tools for the job. And also, you wouldn't go climbing a mountain without a map. This is your map for jewellery making. This is your map for silver clay. This is the instructions. This is going to guide you. This is basically giving you what you need to know, step-by-step instruction of getting involved. Now, once you've mastered it, once you've climbed your hillock, you're ready to climb the biggest mountain. And that means that you can further your adventures with this. Did you like what I did there? Did you see what I did there, Tom? I know. I mean, it's taken me 9 years to get to this point. 9 years. And now I'm stepping on the toes of the greatest. We are looking here, your further adventures. Also £14.95. Again, we're looking here, I'm guessing, another 100 minutes of your silver clay creations, advancing into much more unique developed techniques. I'll do a quick flip so you can see resulting jewellery. Look at that. Oh, I want to make a ring. I would love to make her. I would love to be able to think to myself, I could create my own. My sister would enjoy that. Actually, I might just do that. I quite like that as a gift. That's quite a good idea, isn't it? Bit of a great gift for somebody. Gorgeous. And Ed, my producer right now, my manager, said that he bought his sister the silver clay starter kit for her Christmas present. Aren't you a good brother? I'm impressed. It's quite a great idea, actually. Eduardo, very good. Yeah, brownie points for our Ed there, for his sister. Well, if you think about it, if you do want to perhaps introduce it to somebody, you could do so. You can see here you've got your introduction. You've also got making rings, making molds. You've got your fingerprint keepsake. I like the idea of that for anybody who's got perhaps babies on the way or babies just arriving. Perhaps you want to do little charms with their own unique print, or alternatively, perhaps you want to engrave it with their initials. Oh, I've got new arrivals in the Brown family, which means that I might be able to do something like that. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Then you've got making a silver leaf. On top of that, setting stones in clay. Now think about this. You've got a beautiful single stone that you don't know what to do with, but you want to set it to really, really appreciate it. You're going to have the chance to set it into 99.9% pure silver with this DVD. Decorating with syringe clay. I know that we do have syringe clay available on our website. 3 different ways of firing your silver clay as well, and further information as well. Don't forget, it's 1 postage and packing for the whole day. So if you've just bought the starter kit, or alternatively you've just bought the design kit, or you've just bought that DVD, or you've just got this DVD for $14.95. Now we do have another DVD. It says perhaps this is more of a specific project. This is actually taking you to the resulting finishing look, like so. This is giving you the basics, but also taking you through an exact project. And this project, as you can see, is giving you this gorgeous, it's almost like a shield, isn't it? It is like a shield that you're looking at here. This is your Silver Art Clay Projects Edition 1 DVD. And I tell you what, it says here, create it, wear it, share it. Look at the creation. You're definitely going to wear it, and people are definitely going to want you to share it as well. So you've got your 99.9% pure silver resulting in this fantastic, fantastic project result. £4.95. £4.95, and you could create this very incredible feature piece. And you can see it here. That's the result. That's amazing. That's incredible. Absolutely awesome. The DVD, £4.95 is all you pay for the DVD for that result. Now, of course, you need the ingredients, but we give you that fantastic, as I say, I call it the recipe book. The DVD is your recipe book to resulting jewellery like that one, and I'm sure Natalia will lead you through there. It's a 60-minute DVD for £4.95. So, we've talked about all of the different bonuses, and now perhaps I think we need to head over and find out how exactly we finish our incredible clay off. I mean, firing, I think for a lot of people, is probably the most, what's the word? How do I do it? Question marks related to it. If I do it wrong, what will happen? Those are there's lots of questions that probably surmount for people who go, oh, I don't think I can do this. And actually, in principle, it's really easy as long as you stick to the rules.
Absolutely, yes. So I'm going to show you what to do.
How exciting.
So, there's 3 different ways of firing the clay.
Ging gang gooly 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 gooly. Who's got the marshmallows?
Yeah.
Ging gang gooly.
So we don't have a gas hob in the studio, so I've brought the next best thing. This is a camping stove. So if you don't have a gas hob, don't panic, because at this time of year, gas camping stoves, you know,
yeah,
will
2 a penny. Yeah.
Well, all round, because we don't normally have a summer, do we? What you do is you get a piece of wire mesh in the kit.
Again?
I'm using my seasoned piece of wire mesh.
But you get the wire mesh as part of the starter kit. Got to keep reminding you, this all comes with the kit. You don't have to go out and buy anything else. There's no subsidiaries that you have. This is everything anyway for $34.95. So that
and then when I've
been
done,
well hardened.
So imagine that's your gas hob at home. It looks the same as the camping stove does.
Yeah.
And you just place that on top of the burners. Okay. Like that. And then what we do is I'm going to put my piece of silver clay on first. So I'm going to do this square piece.
Okay.
And I'm going to just pop it there because I know that it's going to get orange there because that's where the burner is.
Is that what you want? You need that to be really quite
fiery, yeah.
Fiery.
I'll show you the colour that we need to achieve. And then I'm going to turn this on, so we might want to step back a little bit. And then it will start to heat up. And you get a pair of tweezers in your kit as well.
Oh, yes, you do. You get the tweezers.
I've got them here.
Oh,
pinch them.
You've got them.
So can you see it's glowing orange?
Straight away.
So what's happening is that we've perfectly placed the piece of silver clay because can you see it's starting to smoke?
It is. I was going to say,
it's going a bit
I can see
black.
it change in colour.
And then it will start to, the particles of silver will start to heat up. And I'm going to move it just so it's a bit more central in that orange bit.
Okay.
And we're just waiting for the wire mesh to start glowing. So can you see that the silver's actually starting to turn white now?
I can see it straight away.
There's a chemical reaction happening within there. Now, on this particular occasion, we didn't get a flame coming off. There's nothing wrong with that. That just happens sometimes. The binders burn away and a flame happens. So
okay.
that's look out for that at home.
And we're not be too worried about that. That's just part of the process.
Yeah. And we're just waiting for the gas to heat up the wire mesh, and then we will start to see the silver starting to glow.
You start to actually just about see the right at the tip there. You can start to see it's just shifting. There's almost like a colour change, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting darker as well. Look!
So
How exciting.
What's going on right now is we've got really, really bright lights in the studio. If we were able to turn the lights off, we would see that would be glowing a salmon pink colour.
No way.
Yeah. So it would have a rosy glow about it.
What would?
The actual silver that's
silver
on there.
wood?
Yeah. And that's the colour that you want to achieve. So in your own home, if you turn the lights down when you're doing this in the kitchen.
Carefully.
And just make sure. That's
just a lethal thing to say to somebody as clumsy as me.
Yeah.
While you've got something on the hob, turn the lights off, don't do it.
And that's it. And people always say to me, do I need to turn the piece over?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. You don't need to.
Don't touch it.
Well, just leave it, leave it to fire.
I can see the lights, the flame actually coming off it now. Can you see it just rising?
Is, yeah.
I don't know whether if we come out a little bit, can you see there is a flame coming higher?
It's starting to heat
Oh, yeah,
up.
you can see. Yeah, you can just there. That line there. I'm obviously not touching it, but you can see the line.
Yeah.
You can actually see the orange coming up.
It's coming out. So once that binder's burned away, which it has started to do now, we would then leave it on there for 5 minutes.
Sorry, say that again. Let me take that on
board. The
board.
binder's just burned away, and
Right.
we're leaving it to fire for 5 minutes on there.
So how do you know when it's totally burned away?
Well, it just starts to go that colour. It starts to, when the lights are down, it will start to turn to a rosy pink
So
colour.
when it's that colour, you leave it still for another 5 minutes?
Yes, you leave it for 5 minutes from that point, because that means that the metal has heated up and all the particles are transferring the heat to one another and they're starting to melt together, and it's called sintering.
It's called?
Sintering.
Sintering.
Yeah.
And in terms of too long, too short, does it have to be precise? Can you do it for too long?
No, you can't do it for too long. You can do it under fire it, so when you started to brush it and polish it, it would start to chip away. So you've got a silver layer on top, but then underneath it's still a bit clay-like. So if to be on the safe side, just leave it a little bit longer.
That's quite good though, because that means it's quite reassuring, because if you haven't done it before, one presumes you'd rather do it for too long than for too short, really, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. And don't worry about it being a little black colour, because we're going to brush all that away.
Again, I was just about to ask that. Yes, is that what the burnishing wire brush is for?
Yeah, the wire brush will take away all of the
Oh, you're starting to see that colour coming through now. Can you start to see those silvery grey feelings just on the edges? Oh, it's so interesting, isn't it?
So if we could get the studio to time that, somebody to have a look at the clock. We'll do it for 5 minutes from now.
Okay, 5 minutes from now, guys. Okay. Done and logged. Okay.
So I'm going to just push that out of the way. It's getting quite hot there. So.
I'll leave it. No, I'm so dangerous. I'm so clumsy. Anything like this is just, I can almost hear health and safety going, what is that girl doing near that Bunsen burner? The last time I was near a Bunsen burner, I was burning my friend's hair, in the back of I was always the back. I know, I definitely need to keep my hair back. So.
Okay, and then what we're going to do is, I'm just putting some safety goggles on.
Okay.
Just checking that that's okay over there.
Everything all right?
And I'm going to show you how to fire with a torch. So this is the second way that you can fire the silver clay.
Okay.
And a piece of this size, so this is about 2 grams of silver there. It's only a little teardrop shape.
Yeah.
Never fire if the piece is not fully dried. So you need to make sure you've dried it out properly.
Again, leave it longer than shorter.
Always,
to make
always
sure,
be on the
certainly on the
safe
first few times.
And when you're working with a gas torch, always make sure that you put safety goggles on. You can get them from most hardware shops.
Okay, so. And I'm just going to move back once more.
And then I will need the gallery to start timing this for me as well. Okay.
Yep.
But I'll let you know when I need the timing. Okay. So turn the gas torch on.
Now you could do a gas torch with our metal clay kit as well, don't you? So,
do.
For those of you who are transforming or getting both kits, then you will already have this, so you'll see how to work with it.
Okay, and then so I've filled that with gas, and then I'm going to start firing the silver. So you will see a flame coming off this one, we should do. So as it starts to get hotter, can you see it's
Oh, look at the flame! Look!
And then, can you see it's getting a little bit black and then it goes white again?
Yep.
And this is the point at which I need the gallery to start timing, please. So can you time for a minute? So it's just
1 minute.
minute. And this is where the gas torch, I love doing the gas torch because it's a quick.
She's going to say that's quick though, if it's just a minute.
And don't go in too, if you go in too close, I'll show you what happens. It starts to glow and get a bit shimmery.
So we've been 2.5 minutes on our burner, and now we're talking about, how long have we got left on the torch? 40 seconds on the torch still.
So can you see,
Look,
Vicky?
I can see the salmon colour.
It's salmon pink colour. It's harder to see on the gas hob there because of the studio lights.
I know, but we can actually see, we can really see that now.
Almost becomes transparent. And can you see how easy it is to do this? It's not tricky at all.
No, not at all. And what exactly are you holding it on? What's this block?
This is a fibre brick, and if you have the metal clay kit, you get a fire brick with it. But otherwise, you can just use an ordinary brick.
Okay, 10 seconds for the torch.
Okay. If it looks like it's going orange and starting to look like it's getting a bit melty, then you just pull the torch away. You just
okay,
go
that's
in
a minute,
or out.
Natalia. That's a minute.
I'll give it a little bit longer, just for good luck.
She's giving a bit longer for good luck.
Okay. And there we go. So that's finished. And that has been fired. So it's as quick as that. So I'm going to leave that just to cool down for a second. And then I want to tell you about the third method of firing, because some people will have a kiln or be wanting to get a kiln, because I know a lot of people, you know, they go down the road of, we'll get the starter kit and they'll have a little play with it and see how I feel. People get on really well with the clay, they really love it, become addicted, and then they want to move on to the next stage and get a kiln. And you can buy kilns. They start from about £200 and they range up to about £2,000 for you know, a smaller kiln.
I'll take 3, please.
Yeah, but it's really great because it means that you can.
That's 4 minutes now.
Okay, you can put lots of. In fact, we can probably turn that off because it had been on a minute before. You can actually get. Quite a good use out of the kiln, because you can put other metal clays in there, you can do glass work, you can do ceramics in there, so you know, it's something to think about.
Okay.
And what you do with the kiln firing is, minimum temperature for firing silver clay is 650 degrees centigrade, and the maximum temperature is 800 degrees centigrade. If you fire it at 650, you need to fire it for 30 minutes
longer,
from the temperature it gets to 650 degrees in the kiln. If you fire it at 800, it's 5 minutes. So you may say, well, why wouldn't I just put everything in at 800,
so why wouldn't
5
I not
minutes?
do it that way?
Because sometimes if you've got something that has maybe got glass in it, or that you're firing gemstones
a little bit more
in
fragile,
that you would want to fire at a lower temperature.
Right.
Rings, I always do them at about 720 degrees because they don't shrink as much. Because these shrinks about 8%.
Oh, really? So, from the actual size that you put it in this clay, it shrinks, but that's because obviously it's losing its. I was going to say it's losing its hydration, and so it's just shrinking up. And melting. Okay, right.
So I'm going to show you. This won't be cool enough. We're usually 10 minutes on here before you touch it, which is hence why we've got the tweezers. And I've got some cold water here. I'm just going to quench it in the cold water. Do you hear that?
I did hear a little.
So that means I'll just leave it in there 10 seconds. Take it out, and then we have, can you see, this is the original colour of the clay. So this is what the size it started out, and so you can see that's very grey and it's chunkier, it's thicker, and then it loses, so it shrinks in all directions, which is really nice because you end up with a lovely elegant piece of silver.
And so just as a question, because it's come to mind, so if you were making things that you wanted to have as a certain exacting size, you really would have to give that an extra proportion to when you're making it to then accept the fact that it was going to lose some of that size. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and so now we're ready to polish that, and it has a metally sound when you drop it now, doesn't it?
You can't believe how amazing
and how
that
quickly.
is.
Isn't that
just
great?
How quick that's happened.
And so this is where the brush comes in, because it doesn't look very silver at the moment. So Vicky, you're going to brush it.
Am I?
You haven't done this yet, have you? All the presenters do the brushing.
Okay. Well, literally just brush.
Yeah, you can just in the palm of your hand, just give it a little brush. It can be a bit less girly about it.
Oh, do I have to be like a?
Yeah.
All right.
Like
okay.
you're scrubbing your kitchen. What
Yeah,
was
I
it?
don't
Kitchen
scrub
floor,
my kitchen floors.
front step.
That's what I got married for. Surely I have a
look
man.
at that.
That's what I have a husband for.
Yeah, it's silver now. That amazing.
Look at that. How quick that is. Do I need to do the back as well?
Yes, do the back.
And look at the difference, just to show you the difference before. That's after brush. Then watch this. That's before. And that really is the before and after. You know, before and after.
And do you know, I never ever lose my childlike wonder with this. Every single piece when I'm brushing it, I just don't know what it's going to look like.
I was just going to say, I didn't realise the result was going to be quite so drastic.
And very quick as well.
Yeah,
we made
exactly.
that, you know, if we put the drying into the equation, you could turn a piece around in about an hour.
Gosh.
So if you've got people to make presents for in a hurry, then you know it's a
Yeah, if you've forgotten your friend's birthday.
Yeah, because I did one.
Oh, that's not good, is it? It's not good. And so I'm doing the edges as well.
Yeah,
is that
do the
right, isn't
edges. And then we have another tool that we're
Have
going to
we?
use. So we've got an agate burnisher, and this.
Oh yes.
What it
okay.
does is it polishes. So if you want to pass the agate burnisher, it's the one with the bamboo handle.
This one?
Yeah, and so we've got agate on the tip of it, bamboo handle. And what this does is it flattens the surface of the silver down, which then creates a shine. So it makes it a mirror-like shine on the surface. And it's great with textured pieces. So I'm going to do this bit in the middle, and you literally just using the agate.
Oh yeah.
Can you see what's happening? And this is what I love about the silver clay, because you're carrying on designing and designing even after you've actually rolled the clay out and created the pieces. You're still continuing. So there you can see the difference with
And you
that.
can see the difference instantly. One part of it is much more sheen to
Yeah.
it, isn't it?
And you can do the sides. I love doing the sides. Even if I don't polish the face of it, I always do the sides, because if we made those into a pair of earrings, it catch the light really beautifully. And it's just literally rubbing around the surface of it. And that is your completed piece.
And there is one thing that I need to ask.
Okay, water pen. What you can do is you can use your water pen. What you do is you take out the end of it and screw it. There's a little rubber cap on there, so you just pop that out and fill it with water, so it's like a fountain pen almost. And then at the other end, once you screw that back on, if you take the lid off, it's a paintbrush, but when we squeeze it,
Oh yes, it gets
we've
water.
got the water,
Oh, just
so
like,
we
can you see
can
that?
brush
Just-
with it.
Yeah.
So what you might want to do is, you might want to, if say the back of it's not very tidy, you can add a bit of water to the back of it and smooth it out, make it nice and
You're just
silky and lovely.
hydrating a little bit more.
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
And what I do with this as well is, if I'm sticking two pieces together, so we have some syringe clay and we have paste clay, I would use that to attach the two pieces together, and then any clay that's coming out of the edges, it's like pasting something together, you know, you sandwich them together and then the clay oozes out the side.
Yeah.
Just use your water pen to tidy that away and smooth it away.
Oh, how intriguing. Well, that's interesting. And we do have other additions as well. And the syringe, I don't know whether, we'll just quickly grab that. Jack, thank you so much, bud. The syringe itself adds a lot of detail, doesn't it?
It does, I've lost the nozzle for it. Oh, there it is, that's okay.
And so it comes in a package, obviously, and it comes with a cover, first of all.
Yeah.
Take the cover off and add the
There's
top.
a little green nozzle that comes with it, and this is the medium tip, which is the one that we use for most things. So
Okay.
you can do that. And what you can do is, so if I said to you about sticking two things together, say we wanted to add that circle to there.
Yes,
We-
okay.
Like the example
I was
of
just
the
gonna say,
owl,
let me just-
I've actually pasted and syringed two pieces together. So I cut all those individual pieces out, dried them, and then I stuck them together with syringe.
That's amazing.
So what I'm going to do is, when you first put the tip on the end of here,
Yeah.
my experience is, the force of pressure when you're trying to push it can send the tip off. So you just keep hold of it until you can see. Can you see that the clay's coming through? It's working its way.
Oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
There we go, and then it's out. So this is the same product, but it's a watered down version, and it has the consistency of icing, so piped icing.
So it is the same, it is the still 99.9% pure silver, but it's just, as you say, in probably a more liquid formation.
Yeah.
It's still solid, but it's a little bit...
It's a bit more sturdy. So I'm just going to put some on the back of there as though I'm going to paste these two pieces together. So I'm just putting an application of, you want to be quite generous with it.
I was just going to say, you're being quite generous, aren't you? I didn't realise it would be quite so much.
And then just stick those together. And then when I press, can you see that the clay's oozing out? Now, it would be so difficult to get down there when it's dry to remove that messy stuff. So this is where your water pen comes in, to just smooth that.
Oh, look at that, it just smooths away.
And don't worry about getting your pieces wet, because you can just dry them out again. So.
Gosh, that's so impressive. You see, it's just like knowing what the tools do and making them work for you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The actual improved Formula Art Clay Silver Syringe 650 is, disappeared, is $19.95. I'm sure it said $19.95. There you go. 10 grams that you're getting within the syringe, and it's less than £20. So that's $19.95 is all you pay. Less than £20. And the paste.
Yeah, can I just show you very quickly that ring? Because you can use it to decorate as well as pasting things.
Yep.
So what I've done with this ring is I made a silver clay ring. I dried the silver clay out, and then I piped the syringe around the ring to create this decorative effect.
That's beautiful. And so literally you've created the ring, and then you've created like a lattice with the syringe detail.
So there's a lot you can do with syringe. So the other
$19.95 for the syringe. And then finally, one other bonus is the, what would you classify this as?
This is called paste.
Paste.
And also known as slip. So if
I was just going to say, but there is another word for it, isn't there? That's it, slip. I've heard of that.
It's like the same in pottery. You use a watered down version of the ceramic clay to paste and to create effects on your clay as well.
Okay.
So you can actually paint this. You can use a paintbrush and paint it onto a leaf. And so you put 7 coats on a leaf, and then dry each coat out before you add another one, and then burn the whole leaf together with the silver, and you end up with an impression of the leaf. So it's quite remarkable.
Another revelation right at the end of this show. We've got a revelation that you can create. So you get a leaf, literally choose a leaf from the garden. You paint it. Simple brush technique, nothing too.
No.
7 layers.
Yeah.
Leave a layer to dry, then add more.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So leave it. How long would it dry? How long would you need to leave it per layer?
You could dry it with a hairdryer, and that would take seconds.
Okay.
Or you can leave it to dry out in a warm place, and then that would take about 10 minutes.
Fine.
So.
And then 7 layers later, fire it as we've already shown you in either option, and hey presto.
And I demonstrate that on my DVD, on the second DVD. I do it.
So on the advanced technique DVD that you have, that we've just talked about, $14.95. That one.
I just want to get the camera to have a look inside the jar, because you get 10 grams of clay in here. Let's try and turn it so you can see it. And it has the consistency of melted ice cream. So it's a very nice thick consistency, and I use a cocktail stick just to get some out there for you, so you can see. You could do the same thing. It's still quite thick, mind, isn't it? I thought it was going to be a little bit runnier than that, but it is quite thick. What I'm going to do is I've got a piece here, and I can create an effect on the back. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm just putting it on very quickly, and then just stippling with my finger, and that creates an effect.
Just like that.
A lovely texture. You can do that on the front of pieces as well. There are endless different ways you can use the paste.
Well, the paste coming in, as you say, 10 grams of paste. which is again the 99.9% pure silver. And you're getting this pot where we've already learned a totally different technique. And again, if you get the DVD, that's the advanced DVD with Natalia, that's $14.95, which can show you a technique to use the paste and create a beautiful leaf design as well. So that would be a really a great adventure. That DVD coming in, as I say, at $14.95, just to advance your technique skills. So for those of you who've got started into silver clay, you can get this DVD, which will take you into another world altogether of creating some more spectacular silver clay creations. £14.95. Not to forget, of course, for those of you who have just watched for the first time and have suddenly become inspired to get started, the whole clay starter kit, your silver clay starter kit, coming in today, rock bottom pricing. It literally is everything that you need. Natalia's devised this starter kit, and certainly probably didn't devise it with the expectation of it being so low at that price point.
Fantastic
34, all-time low price tag, £34.95. Tools and also 7 grams of silver as well there for you to take and indulge in. I'm hoping that you have enjoyed this show, taking that amazing journey through what is without any doubt one of our finest disciplines here at JewelleryMaker, and always a beautiful pleasure to have your company, Natalia, and your expertise is just inspirational. It really is. So we're hoping that that is just the beginning of your journey here with us at JewelleryMaker in your silver art clay. Get making and enjoying.